everyone, and welcome. My name is Sydney, and today we are finally starting the Zodiac Academy by Caroline Peckham and Susanne Valenti. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong, but this is the Zodiac Academy. It is a huge series that I've heard so many things about. I've watched a lot of booktubers read it and rave about it. It has really good ratings, and this is like a dark fantasy romance, dual POV, but between two sisters. I've been meaning to pick this up for a while, and I figured why not start a series where whenever I'm in the mood to read it, we film an episode of it, and each episode will be me reading a book. So this is Come Along With Me reading the first book in the Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. So I'm going to first read the synopsis for you. It sounds really, really fun, and it made me giggle. I filmed my August TBR, and I was debating about picking this book for one of those prompts, and I decided to go with something instead and use this as more of a new series that, like I said, each episode is going to be focused on one book of the series, and it's a huge world, so many interconnected series. Like, I'm really excited to do this. I've been meaning to pick it up, and I felt like this is the perfect time. So the synopsis says, I'm a Gemini, impulsive, curious, headstrong, a twin, heir to the throne I know nothing about, and it turns out I'm Fae. But of course there's a catch. All I have to do is claim my birthright to prove that I'm the most powerful supernatural in the whole of Solaria. And sure, technically that's true, as I'm the daughter of the Savage King, but the bit they didn't put in the brochure was that every single Fae in this kingdom would claim my throne if they could. In this deadly academy, vampires bite weaker students in the corridors, the werewolf pack has orgies in the Wailing Wood at every full moon, and don't even get me started on the twisted ways the sirens use their powers on people's emotions. Or how sinfully tempting cardinal magic professor hosts detentions that leave people needing therapy. Classes are totally interesting if you manage to live through them. And that Gemini star sign I mentioned, it now determines my elemental magic and affects my destiny. So learning astrology is essential if I'm going to beat down my classmates, which is actively encouraged, by the way. My biggest problem is the dark-hearted dragon shifter who has his eyes on my throne. He and his 3 psycho friends are determined to make my time here hell, and all I've got to do is survive, but fate might have other ideas. Damn it, why couldn't I have gotten a letter to Hogwarts? That sounds so fun, and I already started a little bit of it last night. I'm on chapter 4, so what is that? I'm on page 58, and so far I really like it. The 2 sisters, one is named Darcy and the other is named Tori. Darcy is both are just badass female main characters, firstly. Darcy is more the one who kind of thinks things through, I gather, but they're both really impulsive, I guess, but not as much as Tori. Tori in the first chapter, stole a motorcycle and sold it to a guy for money, and then this guy followed her home and said he needed to talk, and then he used magic on the 2 sisters to get into their apartment, and he basically said, you're coming with me, you have powers, you turned 18, this is when they're gonna arise. There's a whole nother world out there that mirrors Earth, but it's Solaria, and it's magical, they are Fae, and he said that they need to enroll in the Zodiac Academy. And so they come with him, and so far I'm at the point where they just discovered what powers they have, and now it's at Tori's chapter, so I'm super excited to continue it. I really like Darcy a lot, I think I'm gonna love her, but Tori already hooked me. I only was in her in her perspective for 1 chapter, and now that we're about to start hers again, I'm just really excited to be kind of back in her view and see her chaotic thoughts. But so far I'm really liking it. I'm really excited to see where this is. There's a lot of world building so far, so I think I'm going to go to Barnes & Noble and get a drink and maybe a snack and read for a little bit. So tag along with me. So I'm back. It's later in the evening. I went to Barnes & Noble about, I want to say 1 o'clock, and I got back around 5. I read a lot while I was there. It started to downpour, so I only expected to be there for like an hour or two, and I ended up staying like close to 4.5 hours, like, yeah, 4.5 hours because it just started to downpour. But I got a lot of reading done because of it, and my update so far at page 215 is that I am absolutely loving this book. I am so obsessed with it. I can see why so many people love the series and love the characters and just the world. Like, the world of Solaria is so cool. Love the map. Like, first of all, I want to take a moment of appreciation for the map of the school. I have flipped back to this thing like so many times while reading, because they'll mention like a house or a building, lavatory, the library, like the water lagoon, the fire arena, the Wailing Wood, which I'm excited to see more stuff happen in the Wailing Wood because we only got a snippet of it, and as we can recall from the back of the book, it says that at every full moon in the Wailing Woods, the werewolf pack has orgies. So I am very excited. I don't know if excited is the right word, but I guess now that I'm in this world and very curious to see where this is going, excited might be the right word. The specific werewolf that you kind of get to know in this a little bit is really gross to me. I don't know. He is just a very icky man, and so excited is not the right word. Like, I'm not excited to see or read about the orgy, but I am like really interested to see kind of what craziness happens because I know he is involved 100%. But I want to say that if you are a fan of romantasy or dark romance at all, and Harry Potter, this, I seriously recommend it. Like, there's different houses, the girls showed up, and they got to see what powers they have, and I won't spoil that, but they got sorted into specific houses. They got to pick if they wanted to do air, earth, fire, or water. Then depending on that, there's also the 4 boys who were mentioned in the back of the book too, that my biggest problem is the dark-hearted dragon shifter who has his eyes on my throne. He and his 3 psycho friends are determined to make my time here hell. So that's what the back says, and we've met those characters. They're absolutely insane, and each one of them is in charge of one of those houses. And so we have to see them a lot, and they do not like Darcy or Tori because they feel like they're after the throne, they're threatened by them, but they're also just a real big pain in the ass, but also pretty good looking according to the book. But yeah, so they're kind of trying to navigate that, and also I love just the class settings and what they're learning and just being a part of it and the daily schedule. Like, it reminds me a lot of Harry Potter, or even the setup of Fourth Wing, like how there's schooling and they have like specific things and classes that they go to every day, and a lot of forced proximity between the love interests for both of our female main characters, and I'm just loving it so far. I seriously, Goodreads says I'm at 49%, but I want to say, so I'm about that far, which, if we're looking at it this way, I want to say that's like a little less than halfway, but I'm really excited to finish this and continue the series. I've been looking up too, like what order to read them in, because I know there's a lot of spin-offs and a lot of prequels and novellas, and I saw one thing that there's like a tiny prequel, I think it's like 130 pages long, that has to do with one of the pain in the ass boys, and I have an Audible credit and it's 2 hours long, so I'm kind of feeling like I might include that in this video just because it's such a short audiobook, and if that's what it says to read next, I might just include it in the video just to, if I finish this book relatively soon, that just might be a little nice addition. But it says it's available on Audible too, and it's only like 2.5 hours, and I have a credit, and I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to use it for, because I don't know, with audiobooks I really prefer to listen to shorter books, on there, so I feel like that is a perfect option, especially if I want to include it in the video. I don't know, I'm just in the mood. I have a feeling that once I finish this, if I finish it relatively quickly, then I'm not going to want to leave the world just quite yet, as I thought I originally was going to. I kind of wanted to have this series be like maybe once a month pick up the next book, just as like a little sprinkling. I don't think that's the case. I feel like I'm gonna end up really wanting to fly through this series, so I guess that's a good sign. Like right now I feel like it's sitting at like a 4.5 stars. Like there's a couple things that's really cringy, not super cringy, just a little bit. I sometimes like, I feel like I was sitting at Barnes & Noble's, like, and there was this one scene where I was like, I don't know. So there's like a couple moments throughout the book, but overall it's so good. I just can't wait to keep reading, so that's what I'm gonna do. So it's been a minute since I updated. I am currently on page 300, and the last time I updated I think I was on 215, and a lot has been happening in the book. I still really like it. I am disgusted by the werewolves though. I don't know. That we still haven't gotten to the werewolf orgy. Yeah, the werewolves are gross. I don't know. One of the heirs is a werewolf, and just the things that come out of this man's mouth and the fact that he nuzzles up against people, I don't even want to say more than that, and he acts like it's normal along with everyone else who is at the school. And I don't know, I just can't get behind it. And the two girls can't get behind it, thank God, because I'm glad that was not something they're thirsting over yet. So, but other than that, I'm really liking it, but it also gives it an entertaining point. So I'm going to keep reading. I want to say about 200 pages left. Yeah, like a little less than 200 pages left. So I'm hoping to finish this by tomorrow, and then I'll pick up the audiobook of the prequel that's, I can't remember what it's called, but I believe it follows one of the heirs, or it follows someone who is training one of the heirs. But I don't know, that's the reading order that I got suggested to online. I might look at a couple other things before I decide that, but I have an Audible credit and it's only like 2 hours on Audible, so I think that might be a good thing. So I'm going to continue reading, and I'll probably update, I don't know, maybe before I go to bed. We'll see. Good morning. So I have some bad news. I thought that last night I was going to sit in bed and read like 100 pages. I sat in bed on my phone and then passed out. So we are still at page, what page is this? 319, right? Yeah, 319. So if I want to finish this book today, so it's about 500 pages long, so I've got like, what's the math on that? 180 pages left. and I work at 4. So we're gonna try our best to read this all. Today, I really am loving this. Seriously, I haven't had a book that I go to bed thinking about it, I can't stop thinking about it, and all I want to do is find out what's next. Not even like I'm excited to finish the book. You know when you kind of are like, oh, I'm ready to finish the book and get to the next one? No, I am just like excited to see what happens, and I love being in this world. The 2 characters are so awesome, like, and the story is just so fun, it's so entertaining, and I just love all the houses and the classes that they have to go to. Like I said, it really reminds me of like Harry Potter and Fourth Wing and the schooling system, but also make it dark romance, which is really fun. Like, all the characters are really morally gray, and I don't know, usually I feel like dark romances are about like 300 pages, you know, or even as short as like this. But I guess those are just kind of like just pure smut. Like, I don't read a lot of dark romance, but this is 500 pages in like an intense fantasy world, and I'm just loving it. So I gotta run some errands, I gotta go pick up a prescription, get some breakfast, as well as I have to give some blood, and then we will be back and hopefully finish the book before I have to go to work. Alright? Alright, so I'm back from work, and I unfortunately come bearing bad news. Not only did my recording of me reading before work turn out terrible, it was completely blurry the entire time, so that was awesome. I also did not finish the book like I intended. I got to page, let me see, 382. So I've got about 120 pages left, and I'm really gonna strive to finish this tonight. I really need to. But so far, another update is that I'm still really enjoying this. They added kind of more to the mystery that was going on in the background that I previously talked about. Someone got attacked, we don't know who it was. So it's just fun. It's definitely keeping my attention, and I'm sensing a couple different romances going on. I mean, it's a dark romance, so there are more than one interest, but I think I know who each of the girls are going to choose. So we'll see. This is very interesting, and I'm excited to finish it. It is the next morning, and I'm so excited to say that I finished the first book in the Zodiac Academy, The Awakening. I loved it. The betrayal at the end. I feel like I laid awake at night after just sitting there trying to comprehend what just happened. Like, it took me like an hour to fall asleep after, but it was so good, and I'm so angry. There would be no coming back after what that man did to her, to both of them at the end of that. And the plot just deepened too, because not only are the boys unredeemable, like I thought it was going to be kind of quote unquote like a normal fantasy where the enemies like kind of become lovers towards the end. No. The enemies became arch enemies at the end. That was oh my god. But I don't know, I loved it. I'm literally about to go to Barnes & Noble's and pick up the second one. I looked something up online that the reading order, I thought originally I was gonna listen to the prequel to the Zodiac, and I think I'm gonna save that for later. I saw that the best way to read this would, for the most emotional effect, would be to do 1, 2, 3, and then I think jump back to a different series that kind of takes place before this, and then work your way around there. But I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to stick to that. That says it's the most emotional way to read it, and that was insane. I cannot wait. That was so fun. I'm really glad that I read this, but I want to say right now I think I'm set at 4.75, but I might just bump it up to a 5 stars. I don't know. It was just so good. There's the only reason that I think it's not a 5 stars, I think maybe the werewolf Seth, the character Seth, really icked me out, but that was kind of the whole purpose, I think. So I don't know. I feel like I'm just gonna say 5 stars, but right now 4.75. It was so good. I highly recommend it. Like I said, it kind of gave Fourth Wing a little bit with the schooling, as well as Harry Potter, dark romance, and just its own world. And with the elements, it was kind of giving like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I don't know. It was so fun. I really enjoyed this book, and I'm really happy that I read it. But if you made it this far, thank you so much for coming along. This was such a fun reading vlog, and I cannot wait to continue the series and do more of these episodes. I definitely feel like I'm gonna finish the series by the end of the year. Like I thought I was gonna pace myself, but no, I fear that I will be picking up the second one immediately. Like I'm going to buy it, and I feel like I won't be able to resist starting the next one. So we'll see. If you like this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and comment down below if you've read any of the Zodiac Academy books or the Solaria world. I'm so interested to see everybody else's thoughts, if they liked it as much as me, if they had kind of the same complaints a little bit, or any of the icks, or if they gave it 6 stars. Like, I don't know, I'm very curious. But thank you so much for tuning in, and I can't wait to see you in the next one.